Whether you are brand new or already experimenting with ChatGPT, don't go anywhere. You are about to unlock a whole new way to think, work, and create. ChatGPT isn't just another AI tool. It's like having a team of experts in your pocket. Writers, coders, chefs, and even comedians, ready to go 24/7. In this video, I will walk you through everything you need to know to use ChatGPT like a pro, from basic prompts to advanced features like creating newsletters, summarizing documents, and generating stunning images. Hi, I'm Patrick, and if you think ChatGPT sounds like a new kind of espresso machine, don't worry, I've got your back. Here at AI for Grown-ups, it's all about making AI easier to use for people like us with simple, real-world tips. So let's get started. ChatGPT is a type of generative AI powered by a large language model, or LLM in short. It can create new content in the form of text, audio, images, simulations, and computer code based on a text prompt from a user. The GPT in the name stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Unlike old-school chatbots that stick to a script and follow predefined rules, ChatGPT breaks that mold. The outputs from traditional bots are limited to whatever they were programmed to say. But ChatGPT runs on generative AI, which means it uses deep learning and tons of data to actually understand patterns and generate original responses. It's not just picking from a list, it creates replies on the fly that sound natural and human-like. If you're curious about how AI works and want to dig deeper, check out my video titled AI for Grown-ups, the basics you need to know, in the card above or in the link below in the description. Think of ChatGPT as a super helpful, very smart friend who can write, explain, brainstorm, translate, code, summarize, joke, and create pictures. Whether you need help writing an email, solving a tricky math problem, coming up with a dinner recipe, or planning a vacation, ChatGPT has you covered. Before we dive deeper into the world of ChatGPT, it's important to recognize that using AI comes with a few potential challenges. For example, there are concerns about bias in the data they are trained on, the use of copyrighted content, and the accuracy of their responses. That's why the concept of keeping a human in the loop is so important. It simply means that a person stays involved, reviewing, guiding, and correcting what the AI produces to ensure the final outcome is accurate, ethical, and makes sense in the real world. While AI is not always perfect, when used correctly, it's a very powerful tool that can support and enhance how we work, create, and solve problems. To get started with ChatGPT, just head over to chat.openai.com. You will also find the link down in the description. If you already have an account, simply sign in. If not, you can sign up for free or even explore without logging in. During sign up, you will have the option to use your Google account or register with your email address. ChatGPT offers a free plan suitable for limited everyday use and two paid plans called Plus and Pro for personal use. Another option is the team plan, specifically designed for business use. So you're probably wondering, if ChatGPT is free, why pay $20 a month? Well, here's what you get and what you don't get. Let's start with the brain of the whole thing, the AI model itself. Free users get access to GPT-4o, but with limitations, and GPT-4o mini, which is a lighter, faster version of the model. It's great for everyday tasks, but it's not running at full strength. On the Plus plan, you unlock full access to GPT-4o and GPT-4, the most advanced versions available. These models are better at complex reasoning, writing long-form content, analyzing data, and more. In regards to usage limits, free users are on a lower message limits per day. But if you're on the Plus plan, you can send up to 80 messages every 3 hours with GPT-4o or 40 with GPT-4. That's ideal if you're using ChatGPT a lot for writing, coding, or research. Free users get standard performance, meaning that during busy hours, you might face slowdowns. With Plus, you get priority access, which means faster response times and fewer interruptions. Another major reason to opt for the paid version is the voice mode. This lets you have real conversations with ChatGPT. You ask a question and ChatGPT will reply in a human-like manner. If you plan to use ChatGPT regularly, I highly recommend upgrading to the Plus plan. The added features really help you to get the most out of the tool. So now that you're logged into ChatGPT, let's take a tour of the interface so you can hit the ground running. On the top left corner, this icon is your main menu toggle. Click this to expand or collapse the sidebar. It's great for keeping your screen clean and gain more real estate to work with. Next to that, you have a search icon, which you can use to find previous chats via keywords or titles. The icon next to that, as well as where it says ChatGPT below the menu bar, is where you can start with a new chat anytime you wish to do so. Below ChatGPT is something called Sora. You might or might not see this when you sign up. Sora is OpenAI's tool for text-to-video generation. That means you can type in a detailed description and Sora will generate a realistic video that matches your prompt. It's still in early access for now, meaning not everyone can use it, but it gives us a glimpse of where generative AI is headed. The library feature in ChatGPT is fairly new and supports only images for now. It serves as a centralized space where you can view, organize, edit, and manage AI-generated images as long as they have been created using GPT-4o model. Next, we've got Explore GPTs. This takes you to a marketplace style area where you can browse custom GPTs built for specific tasks like travel planning, language tutoring, and logo makers. We will discuss this further a bit later in this video. Below that is where your chats and conversations are saved. If you hover over one of them, you can click on the three dots, which will give you the option to share, rename, archive, or delete the chat. Right next to the sidebar, it says ChatGPT. If you click the little arrow next to it, you will be able to switch between different modes like GPT-4o, GPT 4.5 and others depending on your plan. We will discuss the different modes and when to use which briefly at the end of this video. Staying on the top bar on the right side, there is something called temporary, and if you hover over it, it says toggle temporary chat. This feature allows you to engage in conversations that are not saved to your chat history and do not influence the AI's memory or training data. This mode is particularly useful when you want to maintain privacy or discuss sensitive topics without leaving a trace. To get out of this mode, you can just open a new chat or click on temporary again. At the top right, where you see the user initials, is your account section. Clicking here lets you manage your profile, settings, and plan. We will get back to this a bit later on. And finally, let's now look at the main area. Right at the center, you'll see the question, "What can I help with?" This is your text input box where you can type anything, a question, a request, an idea, and hit enter to start the conversation. ChatGPT will then display the output above the input box for you. The plus icon lets you upload files as part of your prompt. You can upload different file types such as PDF, image files, Excel, Word, and many others. This is super useful for data analytics, document summarization, brainstorming ideas, and so on. As we've learned in the introduction, ChatGPT has been trained on a massive amount of data to generate the responses it gives to our prompts. However, the general ChatGPT model has a knowledge cutoff, which means its data isn't fully up to date. As of the time this video is being filmed, the cutoff is October 2023. If you need the most current information, such as the latest news, flight schedules, or product prices, you can click on Search, which enables real-time web browsing to help find the most accurate and relevant answer to your query. The reason icon will activate a reasoning or step-by-step analytic mode. When you click it, it will provide a more structured and detailed explanation of how ChatGPT arrived at the answer, breaking it down into logical steps or providing deeper insights into the thought process. This can be helpful if you're looking for a more thorough understanding or want to see how ChatGPT approached a particular problem. The deep research button is for when you want ChatGPT to really dig in. It takes a little more time to respond because it's going deeper, exploring different angles, adding layers of insight, and giving you a more thoughtful, nuanced answer. Think of it like asking for an expert's deep dive, not just a quick reply. The Generate Image icon allows you to generate visual content based on the prompts you provide. When you activate it, ChatGPT can create images based on your descriptions, such as scenes, portraits, illustrations, and other visual concepts. Next to this is the 3 dots or more option. Clicking this in the free plan will give you the option to activate the Canvas feature in ChatGPT. This is designed to help you collaborate on longer or more complex projects. Think of it like a shared whiteboard or workspace between you and ChatGPT. We will use this a bit later to demonstrate how it works and why it is a useful tool. Lastly, as part of the prompt box, you will find 2 circular icons. One says Dictate and the other says Use Voice Mode. Dictate mode transcribes your spoken words into text, which ChatGPT then uses to generate written responses. Voice mode provides a more natural, real-time conversational experience. Alright, so now that you know what the interface looks like and what the individual features do, let's talk about how to actually talk to ChatGPT. The quality of your prompt will greatly impact the output or answer you will get from ChatGPT. This is where the RISE framework comes in. It's a simple but powerful way to structure your prompts so that AI doesn't just guess what you want, it knows. So what does RISE stand for? The R stands for role. Who should the AI pretend to be? The I stands for instruction. What do you want it to do? The first C stands for context. What's the situation, background, or preference? The second C stands for constraints. What are the limitations? And E stands for examples. What are possible expected outcomes? Let's create an actual prompt following the RISE framework. For the role, we enter, "You are a travel agent." For the instruction, we ask it to suggest a European city itinerary. For the context, we say, "The traveler prefers art museums and local cuisine." As a constraint, we enter that the trip must last maximum 10 days. And as an example, we mention Paris for art and Rome for food. The outcome following this prompt is tailored to the needs of this particular traveler and offers great suggestions. We can now ask ChatGPT to further adjust the itinerary based on changes we want to make. Using the RISE framework isn't about making things more complicated. It's about getting better output with less frustration. So now that we have a first draft of our itinerary, let's use Canvas to adjust it. Let's use this icon over here that says Edit in Canvas. Canvas is an interactive space that lets you create, edit, and refining long-form text or code. You can highlight and modify text, ask ChatGPT for improvements, and compare before and after versions. It's helpful for tasks that require more polishing or iteration. On the left-hand side is the chat with ChatGPT, and on the right-hand side is the content you're working on. You can type in the canvas just like you would in a document and make changes right within the content window. Let's say I want to add one hotel recommendation per city that gives me the easiest access to most of the museums. I can just type my request in the chat and ChatGPT only adjusts this particular part by adding a hotel recommendation per city. If I prefer to update only part of the text, hovering over a paragraph reveals an icon on the right side for making edits to just that section. So let's say I want to remove the Louvre from the current museum recommendations in Paris while replacing it with another museum. I can just type this and ChatGPT will only change this part. I can see the latest changes I've made by clicking the icon on the top right corner, which then shows the original text in red and the new version in green. If I don't like the changes, I can undo and revert to a previous version by clicking the arrows on the top. At the top, there's a drop down where I can rename the canvas for easy access later. Once you're done editing, you can close the canvas from the top left. To return to it, use the open canvas icon on the top right corner. With ChatGPT's multimodal capabilities, you are no longer limited to just typing text. You can actually upload files, things like PDFs, Word docs, Excel spreadsheets, images, even snippets of code, and interact with them via prompts. Just click this little plus icon right here and choose a file. For example, I'll upload the image of a handwritten shopping list. I simply type, turn this into a neat digital grocery list organized by category. ChatGPT reads the handwriting, sorts the items, and gives me a clean, organized list I can copy straight to my phone. So whether you're dealing with scanned documents, budget spreadsheets, or vacation photos, ChatGPT can help you break them down, analyze, or even generate creative content based on what you upload. So let's talk about one of ChatGPT's most powerful features, web search. This is a game changer if you're looking for real-time information. As mentioned earlier, ChatGPT by default has a knowledge cutoff. That means anything that happened after that date is not in its memory bank. When you enable web browsing, ChatGPT can pull in fresh info from live sources, and it even shows you where the information comes from with actual links and references. Let's prompt, what are the top 3 highest grossing movies in theaters right now in the US? Let's see how ChatGPT uses the web to get this information. Notice how it searches online, finds the latest box office data, and even shows the source where it got the answer. We can click into all the references and sources to find more information if we want. That's pretty cool, and we don't have to worry that the information is not current. Right next to the search icon, you'll find another powerful feature, Reason. The reasoning model is built to support logical thinking. It's perfect for tackling more complex tasks, things like business forecasting, strategic decision making, or breaking down a tough problem step by step. What makes it extra helpful is that ChatGPT doesn't just give you an answer, it walks you through its thought process. That means you get transparency, so you can actually understand how it reached its conclusion. In this example, we asked ChatGPT to figure out how many units of wireless headphones we should produce for the next quarter based on historical data. The reasoning model got to work and suggested to produce around 25,000 units. But how did it come up with this? Right up above, we can review the thought process it used to come up with the answer. In this way, you are not just given an answer, but can instead follow the reasoning behind the answer ChatGPT came up with. Right next to the Reason button, you will notice another powerful tool, Deep Research. So how is this different from Reason? While Reason is all about structured thinking and logical steps, Deep Research goes much further. It's designed for information gathering and source-backed responses, especially when your question requires scanning a wide range of data, perspectives, or current trends. Deep Research is perfect for tasks like exploring industry trends, creating comparison reports, drafting in-depth articles, or gathering up-to-date insights on niche topics. Let's look at an example. Say we want to understand emerging travel trends in Southeast Asia for 2025. We hit the Deep Research button and enter the prompt. Unlike Reason, which focuses on problem-solving logic, this feature finds recent articles, research papers, and trusted sources to compile a well-rounded summary. After a short wait, ChatGPT returns a comprehensive overview, citing ecotourism growth, digital nomad hotspots, visa policy changes, and rising interest in local cultural experiences, all the clickable source links for validation. And just like that, we've got a credible multi-source answer. So if you ever need insights that go beyond what's in your head, or even beyond what ChatGPT has been trained on, deep research is your go-to button. Now let's move on to something I am personally very excited about: AI image generation. In March 2025, OpenAI rolled out ChatGPT 4.0, which can now generate images directly from our prompts without relying on external models like DALL-E, which used to be its sidekick for some time. This update has been a massive hit. Over 130 million users created more than 700 million images in the first week of its release alone. So what made this version so impressive? For a starter, unlike previous models, GPT 4.0 can accurately render text with images, making it perfect for creating posters or educational content. It's still not always 100% accurate, but much better than before, to the point that you can actually use it for marketing purposes now. For example, I wanted to see if ChatGPT can create a marketing poster for Aperol Spritz. I gave it the following prompt together with a picture of an Aperol bottle, and look what it gave me. Pretty impressive, and after a few small adjustments, I have a picture I could actually use. GPT 4.0 now also adapts to various styles, from hyper-realistic to futuristic to popular ones like Studio Ghibli or an action figure style. I couldn't resist to jump on the trend and did an action figure of myself. Just upload a picture and tell ChatGPT to adapt any style you want. Let's take our Aperol Spritz picture and ask ChatGPT to use a retro style. How about a pop art style? Another interesting use case is for interior design. In this example, we have this empty room, and I've asked ChatGPT to decorate the same room with furniture, pictures, etc. in a cozy living room style. And I asked it to keep the layout of the room the same. The output is very beautiful and definitely cozy in style. You can further adjust and tweak this until you're satisfied with the final outcome. These image generation capabilities aren't just cool, they are very practical. Now let's talk about some of the settings you will find under your profile icon. In the top right hand corner, click on your profile picture, and in the menu you will find an option called Customize ChatGPT. If we click on it, we can now provide ChatGPT with some context about ourselves, such as our name, our role, preferences, and tone settings. ChatGPT will remember and provide us with consistent, personalized outputs across chats. At the bottom, you also have some advanced settings. You can choose which features ChatGPT has access to, such as web search, DALL-E, or also the canvas feature that we looked at earlier. Once you're done configuring all this, in the bottom right, you can click on Save. Click on Settings in the same menu. From here, we can adjust a few things. You can switch between dark and light mode. Enable the option to always show code when using the data analytic tool, and show follow-up suggestions in chats. So ChatGPT doesn't just answer your questions, but also makes suggestions for what could be next. You can also change your language. There are many options available. You can archive all of your chat history or delete chats to free up space if needed. In the personalization section, you will find the Customize ChatGPT option again. We already did that before. Speech customization is another useful feature. You can choose from several voice options. As you start using ChatGPT on a regular basis, you might be wondering what happens to my data. By default, ChatGPT will enable for your content to be used to further train their model. The same is true when you use it in voice mode. If you don't want to share any of your data, just disable these functions here under Data Controls. In the same area, you can manage your shared links. You also have the option to export data. The next thing I want to show you is something called Custom GPTs. These are like specialized AI assistants built for specific tasks. Whether you need help designing a logo, analyzing data, doing research, or even learning a new language, there's probably a custom GPT for that. This opens up a whole world of GPTs designed for different needs like programming, productivity, education, lifestyle, writing, and more. And if you have something specific in mind, just use the search bar. For example, I typed in travel guide and found a bunch of helpful GPTs. I picked the one with the most users. Once it opens up, it looks similar to your normal ChatGPT interface. I asked for a one-day walking tour in Paris, and that's what it gave me. What really stands out is how interactive it is. It asks me questions to tailor the tour, almost like a real guide who actually cares about my experience. And here's the best part, you don't need a pay plan to explore these. As a free user, you can still browse and try many of them. If you do have the Plus plan, you can even create your own custom GPTs with personalized instructions to fit exactly how you work and what you need. Another very cool feature in ChatGPT is voice mode. Yes, you can actually have a real-time conversation with the AI. To start, tap the microphone button. Speak your request out loud and ChatGPT will listen, process, and respond with natural-sounding speech. You are a personal tour guide. Can you give me the most interesting fact about the Philippines?
Sure. One of the most interesting facts about the Philippines is that it's home to the world's longest underground river, the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River. This natural wonder, located on the island of Palawan, stretches over 8 kilometers and flows directly into the sea.
How many islands are there in the Philippines?
The Philippines has over 7,600 islands, with around 2,000 of them being inhabited.
As you can see, it feels like a real conversation. Personally, I find this very helpful when I'm on the go and get sudden bursts of creativity. I just open the app, start talking, and ChatGPT helps me flesh out ideas right away. Now that we have explored the free version, let's take another quick peek at what ChatGPT Plus offers. First off, you will get unlimited access to the GPT-4o and GPT-4 models with much higher usage limits on messaging, file uploads, advanced data analytics, and image generation. That means faster responses, better reasoning, and more power for complex questions, even during peak hours. If you're on a Plus or Pro plan, you can switch between different GPT-4 models, depending on the task. Free tier users have access to the GPT-4 model. However, there are usage limitations in place and you may encounter stricter rate limits compared to paid subscribers, affecting the number of prompts or tasks you can perform within a certain time frame. OpenAI has been changing the models quite often recently, so just check from time to time on what's available and try out the different models to see which one works best for your specific task. Speaking of tasks, a fairly new feature that is available for the paid plans is called Tasks. You can find it by clicking on your profile picture. This feature enables you to schedule future actions, set reminders, and automate recurring tasks, effectively transforming ChatGPT into a more proactive virtual assistant. I created a task for ChatGPT to send me an AI news summary every morning at 8 a.m. You just set it once and it takes care of the rest. You can also customize the name, timing, instructions, and delivery method, whether it's a push notification or email. Another feature that comes with a paid plan is Projects, right above your saved chats in the sidebar. Projects offers a structured way to organize your work within ChatGPT by grouping related chats, files, and custom instructions into dedicated spaces. Think of projects as intelligent folders within ChatGPT. Each project allows you to group related chats to keep all conversations pertaining to a specific topic or task in one place, upload files, attach documents, images, or other relevant files that ChatGPT can reference during interactions. Define specific guidelines or context for ChatGPT to follow within that project, tailoring responses to your needs. This setup ensures that ChatGPT maintains context across sessions within a project. Like this, you don't have to repeat information so often, which results in enhancing your productivity. And that wraps up this video. A full tour of how to unlock the real power of ChatGPT. From writing and brainstorming to analyzing data, creating images, and even automating tasks, the possibilities are endless once you know how to use it right. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments which feature you're most excited to try out. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more clear, practical AI tips. Thanks for watching, and remember, you are not late to the AI party, you're right on time. See you on the next one.